Hello everybody, this is Evan and I'm back with you again today for another new video. This is a new, completely different thing, something I've never done before. I'm just going to be doing a bunch of talks about the Legion and the state of the game right now. A couple announcements before we start is that I have a new background song that if I ever continue to make videos like this, I will use that. It's going on right now. If you guys care what it is the song ZZ. It's the instrumental version, and you can go check that out. I had a friend tell me to try it, and I was like, oh, it's really good. Also, I have a bunch of random background gameplay. I wanted to get this video out quick since it's been one full season or chapter for Dead by Daylight, and now we can officially have our opinions on the Legion. My friend Yoshi Smiles was the one that actually made a video on this topic earlier today, so I decided I would make a video too. I've only watched like 20 seconds of that video, not enough to like shape my mind or whatever. So before we get started, I just want to say thank you for the idea. I'll link his channel in the description, and let's get right into this. Alright, so first what I want to talk about is the Legion and how funny it is. In my opinion, and with a lot of the community, considering the backlash and Reddit and everything based on what the community has been saying about the Legion for some time now, is that he's not really fun to play as. Sure, there's times here and there where you get like not very good survive with friends, or you have like stupid add-ons like Frank's mixtape or Stab Wound Study, and you're just moonwalking the enemies. There it is. Well, technically they are enemies. To the killer they are. He's not fun to play against. I can say that from my experience as well as the community's. I almost never have fun playing against the Legion unless the Legion's bad. He slows the game down way too much, and it's literally just mending simulator at that point. And I also do not watch, or I do not enjoy watching Legion content. He gets very old, and it's the same playstyle every single time. It's hit and run, hit and run, hit and run, and that sometimes can get boring, and it's just not fun to watch. Now, let's get back to the bigger picture of what the Legion has done to the game. The Legion update broke the game. That is the biggest statement I can say. It broke the game. Now, I'm talking hitboxes, pickup animations, everything to do with killers. It broke. He broke them. Now, you know the all the lunges and how those are broken, and the pickup animations, how those got changed. Those were not changed on purpose. Those were an accident from the Legion. The Legion was the reason that those were changed. When they made those animations, those lunges and hitboxes and those pickup animations were for the Legion only, not for everybody else. It glitched everybody else, and they decided to go with it. Now, on the hitboxes, actually, we'll save that for later, because right now I just want to focus on the Legion, so we'll talk about hitboxes later. Not to mention, he is mechanically broken. Like, the nurse on PC is broken because she cannot, like, the survivors have a couple things to run the killer around and stay safe. Those couple things are pallets, windows, and any, like, infinite loop, or just a loop in general. Now, the nurse on PC, since she's way easier to use on PC, actually, shout out to Phoenix, my friend Phoenix, she is a god nurse on console. Anyways, the survivors have no counterplay against the nurse, because she can blink past the pallets, so pallets are useless. She can blink past windows, so windows are useless. Not to mention you get hit through every window in existence now. There's no counterplay, but she actually takes some skill to play. Like, you have to know when to blink, where to blink, how long to hold down your blinks. With Legion, you click L2 and R2 and run around at faster speeds and hit all the survivors. It slows the game down way too much, and it's too easy to play the Legion, which brings it to my next point, that the Legion players are mostly brain dead, because you really don't need to try against the Legion. You also get really easy pips and free emblems. You're always going to get max chaser and max devote because you're always hitting people. That's your ability, is to chase and hit. So you're always going to get iridescent. You will literally pip, even with the new system and the new Moris, how on every other killer, unless you're some god tier player and don't Mori off of first hook, you're going to D-pip unless you play the Legion. The Legion will pip up with a Mori whatsoever, and I know because I've done it. So he gets free emblems, free pips, and free ranks, which is why rank 1 cannot be fun right now, which takes me to a whole new thing that we can talk about in a little bit. The ranking system is kind of everywhere right now, but that's where all the toxic Legion mains are, quite honestly. But not to mention, he also has broken add-ons and crazy map pressure. He is just not the best for this game because he does things other killers can't. He is not a great killer by any means. Just because he can pip up and rank up doesn't mean he's a good killer. Now, he's a mediocre at best killer. I still believe that Billy, who I main, is better than him. Or her, you know, them. I'll just refer to the Legion as them, if I can remember. They do too much for what the killer's power is. They slow the game down too much, they hit too much, they get too much rank. The Legion is just a broken killer mechanically. I'm just going to stop myself there before I go on too much about the Legion, but that's my opinion on the Legion. And now on to, actually we can go to his reworks. I have some reworks that I'd like to see implemented for the Legion. One thing is Sloppy Butcher. I don't think Sloppy Butcher should work on frenzy hits just because of how slow healing and mending already is. It would help reduce the combination just a little bit. But more for the bigger changes, I think that a great change for him would be 115 movement speed, keep 120 or 125 in frenzy, but don't allow him to vault pallets. It's as easy as that. That gives him counterplay, and that's something the Legion doesn't have right now, is counterplay. And that is why he's so broken and in such a bad state right now, is that he doesn't have counterplay. But if you give him his ability to not vault or take that away, he no longer can pressure all these loops, and it makes it so he actually has counterplay. I also think Frank's mixtape should be removed. I remember they were putting in the PTB, they're gonna make it 2 hits, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? That's insane. 2 hits? 3 hits is already insane. I have a feeling that will never come into the game because that is broken as hell. But they really should take Frank's mixtape out of the game. It's too easy and nobody has fun doing it. They need to rework chase mechanics. The moonwalking is the most bullshit exploit in the game. The way you could change it is you could make it so it could be terror radius based, especially when you're in the deep wound state. For now, that's all I really can think that they might be able to do. But they need to rework chase, because the moonwalking needs to stop. It's a problem and it needs to go. So that should be about it for the Legion. On to the game fixes. Let's start off with hitboxes. Okay, where do I even start? I just made, I'll probably link that video down below, but I made a hitboxes and glitches video about probably maybe a week or 2 ago-ish. I'm not completely sure, but that's just, but within like maybe couple weeks tops, this game has the worst hit reg. And like, I play Rainbow Six Siege, and that game is like joked about for having like the worst head hit reg. It's worse than that. I could be a mile away and the killer just swings and it hits me. Not to mention the fact that windows are no longer safe because you will always get hit through windows. It's just pallets as well. I get hit through pallets all the time. It's insane. Even the killer body hitboxes, the killer body hitboxes are way too big. Now, I am a man that uses flashlights all the time. I main flashlights. You can see in most of my videos I'm using flashlights, like the clip right now, because I can actually use them efficiently. But when I go to get like a flashlight save, and I can't go past the killer, because they're as fat as your mom on the 600-pound My Life TV series, I can't get past them to get the save. Not to mention survivors. I don't know. I think that sandbagging is stupid. I think survivors should just be able to go through each other. Sandbagging should be out of the game. That's a little ridiculous. Those hitboxes are bad, and the killer with the worst hitbox is definitely Nurse. I swear, you have to. If she's like a foot behind you, you know she's gonna hit you, because all of her hits extend almost like double the range of her actual primary. It's kind of weird. You could see in my video that I will link down into the description, if I remember, that most of her swings that hit don't actually hit. I don't know if that's on purpose to make it easier for console nurses, but I see on PC all the time same problems. That's it for the hitboxes, even though they need to get fixed. People are saying that dedicated servers are going to fix that. I just don't see it. A lot of people do complain about the pickup animations, not as much as before, but they just take time to get used to. I know when the animations first came out, I couldn't hit flashlight saves for shit. Actually, I was so bad with them, I met my friend Yoshi Smiles because of them. I was so bad at it that I missed so many, and I kind of farmed him a little bit. That he messaged me. Don't worry, he's not toxic. He is. But that's how we met, because I was shitty at flashlight saves. But they just take time to get used to, and they're really not that bad anymore. Couple things animation-wise that do need to get fixed are the Spirit and the Hag's hitbox, like head hitbox for flashlights. The Spirit, it's almost as bad as the Hag. The Hag, you're a god if you can blind over pallets first, and the Spirit she has such a weird head hitbox that when she's breaking pallets, or even when you're just trying to blind her, period, it doesn't work. You have to like almost aim for the hair, and even then you don't get the beam. The Plague was almost the same. I don't know if they fixed it. I don't have a problem against the Plague anymore. But yeah, the head hitboxes need to get fixed for the Hag and Spirit. Another thing, that Frank's demise needs to no longer counter White Ward. That is kind of ridiculous that you could bring in like your this happens to me every time I bring in like the most heavy duty flashlight. I'll bring a White Ward, to protect it. A perk should not be able to counter an offering, like a very rare offering. What it should do is it should take your flashlight, but no matter what, you'll get it when you leave the trial, because that's what the White Ward's supposed to do. Now, on to DCing, which is a huge problem right now. It has been, and probably will be until they do something. But right now, out of all the times, it's been the worst. The problem is, with the ranking system right now, which we will talk about in a little bit. Let me just write that down. The problem with the ranking system is nobody cares about rank anymore, so there's no point in even trying to get like a better rank. So people just DC. If they play against a killer they don't want to play with, or a killer with add-ons they don't want to play with, or they get downed immediately and don't want to have to go through all that, they'll just DC because they're like, oh, there's no problem, I'll just go play another game, or I'll go play another one, jump into another lobby, or whatever. And this is a huge problem, not only for killer, because if the killer DCs, the game completely ends. Like, if the killer leaves, the game ends. It's over. You have no... Oh, Spirit Fury. I'm just watching that clip. the game ends, and I mean, sometimes it's funny, but do you really want like a game to end because a killer got mad? Your whole game ends. Like, you could have, a lot of times I'll waste offerings because the killer leaves. Like, I'll put on good offerings and they'll leave. And also survivors. It's not too bad, I guess, to have a survivor leave at the beginning because you get a gen counterplay, which isn't enough, by the way. There needs to be some other there needs to be something else to help, because one gen, dude, that's a whole teammate that could unhook you. That's time the killer could be ran around. That's another gen they could be working on. That's another potential save, like a flashlight save they could get on you. There's so many different things that teammate could do that could completely change the game other than just one gen. So that's not that bad, but the worst is when the survivors DC and there's like 5 gens left, or they DC in the middle of the game, because you get nothing back. It's all just, it's a 3v1 at that point, which everything is screwed over then, because this game is very tightly balanced around 4 survivors and 1 killer. I believe that DC should give you a 15-minute ban, and it'll go, it's like Siege. It'll, a 15-minute ban that will increase the more times you DC and the more often you DC, and it should also give you half-blood points and iridescent shards and XP gains for an hour, and go up and increase the more you DC, and then people wouldn't. Also fix the ranking system, because nobody cares about rank right now. Add ranked rewards. There's so many videos out there talking about ranked rewards. Go check those out. That would also contemplate a lot of DCing, but right now it's just a bad problem that needs to get fixed. Coming up on some of our last talking points right now, that bugs in this game right now are insanely available. There are so many bugs. I have some in that video that I'll link in the description if I remember. I have so many bugs. Bugs are so prevalent in this game right now that it's almost hard to play. I feel like every game there's some bug that almost, it can either be minor or ruin the experience. It's all just luck based at that point, if you get lucky or not with your game. But there are bugs everywhere. Also lagging, like with the killer internet, they should add, like, if your internet's too bad or over 250 ping, you shouldn't be able to play, because there's a lot of times I will play and I will lose and die because the killer's internet was so garbage that we're lagging everywhere and hits count no matter what. Like, you could be a mile away from them and they swing and you go down. You're like, what? And that brings us to our last point, which is the ranking system. Not only did they screw it up to make it so the ranks are a little unbalanced, but now nobody wants to go for ranks, because there's no point in spending all your time to get through this new hard-ass ranking system, and I'll explain in a minute how I could fix that. But also, what's the point? There's no rewards, it's hard to rank through, and not to mention that queue times are back to their long queue times. I've had to, it's been Lobby Simulator every night now, and I loved it when there was like 2-minute queues. You could go from one game and get into a new game, almost instantaneous. But the queue times now could range from 30, 45 minutes, depends on how lucky you are. And honestly, the more you rank down, which ranking down would be getting closer to rank 1, the longer the queue times are, because there's less people down there. Now, one way I feel they could fix the ranking system is put it back to how it was before, or they could add 10 more ranks. Now, hear me out. The problem, or what you can do with the 10 ranks, is make it 0 to 30, or 30 to 1, actually. 30 to, like, maybe 23 would be the beginner ranks, so people who are just learning the game. Now, I say I want to make the 30 ranks because realistically, there's only 5 to 10 ranks in the game right now. Not a lot of people are ranks 1 through 4 or 1 through 5 because of how crazy it is to pip and how annoying it can get to pip up right now. So people just don't bother. So, and also, none of the, a lot of people are out of the gray ranks or the brown ranks. Nobody stays in those ranks for too long. And then the yellow ranks, unless you can't play the game, you should get out of those pretty quickly. So realistically, there's only green and higher up purple ranks where most people are at right now. So some of the better players are playing against some people that don't know how to play or aren't that good. So like a former rank 1 killer could be playing against or an actual rank 10 survivor. And that's just not fair. If we had 30 ranks, it would make it so pipping wouldn't be as hard as it is until, oh, see, look at this clip right now. There's DCs everywhere. This is what I'm talking about. Back to what I was saying. It would make it so pipping would only be hard down at the lower ranks, and it wouldn't be as hard or as long to rank up through the higher ranks. I feel like that would give more people motivation, and it would open more room for gradual perks and benefits and season rewards, all that fun stuff. So maybe they could do that, and hopefully they take something into consideration from other people, if not me, which obviously they wouldn't me, but overall, this game is in a horrible state right now. But that doesn't stop me from loving the game as much as I do, and I will continue to make videos and play this game because I love it so much. It's so much fun, and I hope you guys enjoy this game too. It's a great game, and I don't want people to leave it because it really deserves more chances. When Dedicated Servers comes out, hopefully some things will get fixed. At least the lag problems for the most part will get fixed. It'll be more of a playable game. But until then, you know, we kind of have to deal with these problems. And so before I go, just want to say, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was a lot longer and a lot longer than I had intended it to be. But remember, check out Yoshi Smiles' channel and his video. I never watch his video, so I don't know what his points were. I made my own video, so I wouldn't copy anything he said. If I did, that's just a coincidence. And go check out the Bugs and Hit Reg video if you haven't already. It's a pretty good video. People liked it. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you later. Probably the next video will be a Siege video, if not Dead by Daylight. But I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Have a good night.
Top smoking, no cooking, the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up dope in the crock pot. My bitch is bad and bullshit. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas are savage, ruthless. We got thudders and 100 rounds too.